Okay, we are ready for Chess Please episode. I think this is episode 9, actually, I must say. Maybe it's episode 8, but either way, we're live and kicking. It is Chess Tuesdays. You're very welcome. I hope this is working. I hope you can hear me okay. I did issue an open challenge to the world. All members of Earth were eligible to apply. Got 2 applicants thus far to take on the big bad wolf that is me at chess, of which that's a terrible name. I wish I said something else just there. But it's live, so there's nothing I can do about it now. Our first challenger, and for those of you that were, in the mix last week, is a returning challenger, Rob Maloney, and we have dubbed this Redemption Tuesday, or the press have dubbed this Redemption Tuesday. Managed to eke out a pretty nervy win against Rob last week, I want to say. Definitely wasn't confident all the way through, but got it over the line. And Rob's out for blood. And he might just get his pound of flesh this very evening. So, without further ado, I think I'm going to do my little chatting into the chat box. Hello, world. And I'm going to tell you about it, because that's the only way I know how to do this. So hopefully that'll pop up there. Bit of news for everyone. It's my nephew Coquito's first birthday today. Happy birthday, Coquito. It's great chatting to you earlier on. You're standing up on your own these days. You got plenty of toys. Sorry I couldn't be there with you. However, can't be helped. We're staying safe, brother. Can't wait to see you soon. All that aside, niceties aside, now let's sharpen our knives and get ready for some chess. So I'm going to jump on here to chess.com and I'm going to play my friend Robert. We also have another challenger on board, which is Ben Phelan. Ben, who is a scholar of the game, a scholar in general. And I have a feeling he might offer up a little bit of a different sort of challenge to Rob. Very different styles of play, I'd imagine. So now I want to play a new game. I want to play, it's going to be 10-15 minutes, or 10 minutes to our challengers out there. But I think I just want to double check that this is all live and everything like that, which I think it is, but I still am fumbling my way around here. No, it seems to be live, and it was episode 9. Delighted. And I'm going to do is I'm going to send Rob a challenge. I think Rob is off the stream for the time being, for those of you who've seen a flaw in our system whereby whoever's viewing can see what I'm about to do. I'm not that good at chess, so that'll be a distraction in and of itself, but also there is a bit of a lag, and I think people generally, you play on your own terms and come back to the stream after. So I'm going to play friend, and there he is, Rob Maloney. I think it's actually this one. It is a new account. This is from when we used to play way back when. This is the new joint. And I think we're ready to play. I'm going to play random 10-15 minutes. Right. Let's be having you, Rob. Let's go for it. There was a little pop-up window there that said myself and Rob are at different rating levels, and if I wanted to even up material, maybe work with a pawn less or anything like that. That is a fabrication. Rob is a very good chess player. This is a new enough account. And the ball's in his court. And he starts with e3. Van Krooij is opening, according to Chess Please. Not Chess Please, chess.com. I'm Chess Please. And we're gonna meet you in the middle here. I think that'll throw a cat among the pigeons. Hope everybody's keeping well this Tuesday. Hope everyone is safe and sound. I know everyone's sound, but hope everyone's safe and enjoying Coquito's first birthday. All right, Rob, you brought the bishop out. It's good, developing move. Let's put the squeeze on right away. I wonder, was he going for the old It's known as the scholar's mate. Or if you bring your queen out here, then eventually you've got a mating threat here on f7. Listen, I'm not above falling for that though. It was an earnest try. He retreated the bishop back, but no harm, no foul. Both got one piece developed. I've got an extra pawn in the center, but might have been worth it for chancing his arm with that attack, if I'm being honest. Nights Out. Watched the movie Knives Out this week. Tremendous flick. Daniel Craig, Lakeith Stanfield, host of others, Jamie Lee Curtis. Fabulous movie. It's a real whodunit in the Clue sense. I'm just going to keep developing. I've got no plan as yet. Rob, if you're listening, I've no plan as yet. If you're not listening, nobody tell him, because it might start to formulate quite quickly. Knights into the middle, it's not bad. In general, as I'm developing, I want to try and do two things with each move. So generally develop a piece, defend a piece, attack a piece, open up room for another piece. So if I'm looking at ways I can do that here, there's two that I sort of see. I see bishop out here, developed and defending. But I sort of prefer knight out. This is just a little bit more of an active square for my knight, whereas this one for my bishop here, I prefer to get it out in the open road. Maybe beaming right in here. We'll see what happens. See what we're let do. And I think an opportunity has presented itself straight away for this. So opening salvo, still very much in the opening. Nothing ventured, nothing gained really. Happy enough with my position, happy enough with the 4 Bukali out and about. Decent squares, all of them. Wouldn't mind getting this lad defended eventually, but I think I want to get this lad defended first and foremost. So it's going to be a Cashlawn. Cashlawn Canucka. I'd eventually like to teach my nephew Kokito chess when he's old enough, which gives me probably about 2 or 3 years to get at least good enough to teach someone. Now I don't like this from Rob, for him, unfortunately. Unless this is some sort of trap, I think this knight is just for free. Now, it may well be, but I'm just going to eat that up. And listen, I know I mentioned Rob is a strong player, and he's playing on an 838 account. He hasn't played chess in several years. And, you know, it would be a disservice to him if I didn't take those opportunities when they cropped up. We're not in the business of giving away wins here. We can do that all on our own without meaning to. But we'll see how he goes. All is definitely not lost. But I think he'll be kicking himself there. Now, ideas I want to develop here. I'm sort of thinking this is actually a brilliant square for my bishop, but it's not really. There can be a trade here, so I was thinking maybe this just to maybe solidify that in there. In fact, as it turns out, I don't necessarily want that. His king's way over here. I don't necessarily want my bishop hemmed in over here. Although, creating like an outpost square, which is somewhere that your piece can sort of stay and live happily without getting marauded, is a good thing to do. This is not necessarily one of those just yet for my bishop. So we'll look to do something else. And I'm trying to think here. In an attempt to create one of those, I think I'm going to push here. This pawn here. And hopefully he'll take the trade there. Just sort of eating into the opponent's territory. Gobbling it up. That's not a bad move, I have to say. Bishop gets a little bit more isolated. It's got enough retreating squares here, so I think I'm alright with that. Any pieces hanging for me? None that I want to go and get. I was thinking maybe knight here, knight here. It's so far away from the action. So what I might do... Get the old queen up here. Just a nice little perch for her, because there's this, there's that, protecting here. This bishop's still a little loose, but we've got time. Having a mull over here. I think he needs to get his pieces into the game ASAP. And I think maybe even just trading for this bishop would be, were I Robert, that's what I'd be looking at. However, still doesn't, you don't want to be giving away a huge amount of material when you're already down. But we both missed something last go. This is gonna get pretty tough for Rob. So when I brought this pawn up, it was with the idea to just unsteady this knight and maybe force a trade here, or promote a trade here, so I get my bishop in here. Very nice square for my bishop there. That didn't happen. Rob pushed, which I said was a good move at the time. I will have to respectfully retract that statement, but I followed it up with an even worse move. Knight is still hanging. Pawn is still attacking the knight. I moved my queen, got away with it though. Again, could all be part of the scheme. Let's go with this. There's the trade we were talking about, which was bishop for bishop. Things have changed a little bit. I was sort of thinking, oh, Rob has resigned. That's fair enough. An earnest go. Rob, if you're watching now, or we might text very briefly, we might get another game in towards the end, but appreciate that. It was a tricky one. A few mistakes, I know you'll kick yourself over. But Redemption Tuesday is not to be this Tuesday. But we can go on. We can strive. Thank you for the game. Thank you. Right. On to the next one. It's a nice little win to get us off, get us kicking. And we're gonna challenge Mr. Ben Phelan, if we can find him. Find friend. Robin Banks. Great name. Mr. Robin Banks. If you're online, now is the time to answer the call. Okay. Here's how it's going to go. It's going to be a game of chess. Potentially one that hasn't been played before. Most of them haven't been played yet. And we're off and running. I've got the very slight edge of being the white pieces. But at this level, there's blunders abounding. This can go either way. I'm going to keep the cards pretty close to my chest. We might go over the game a little bit afterwards. But no, I want to do this one by the book. Psych. The bishop's opening. It's an opening that involves the bishop quite heavily. And look, straight away, we've got the queen out. It's aggressive. I like it. What are some of the threats that's being offered here? Building a little bit of pressure here. Building a little bit of pressure here. I'm kind of tempted to bring out the old queen. Tracks this. Threatens some pretty nefarious stuff. And I think we're at least a couple of moves away from a counter threat there. So normally don't like to bring my queen out this early. My hand was forced. And that's okay. Just gonna get some more pieces into the game. See, Rob was letting me know there was a thumb slip, as it's known in the world of chess. In the previous game, move the wrong piece, or on the phone, very easy to just sort of sweep the wrong piece in the wrong position. Done it hundreds of times. I was gonna say thousands. Haven't done it thousands of times, but certainly many times. Alright, so Mr. Phelan and all the Phelan clan out there watching, I hope you're keeping well. And I like the heat you're bringing early on. Gone in a goal. Again, moving the same piece twice in the opening with that knight. Not really what you're supposed to do, but I wanted to. Very intriguing. Very intriguing stuff, says I. You at home might have a very different opinion. That's the beauty of television. Okay, nasty little one we can land here, I think. And it's one we fall foul to ourselves every single game. It's a little knight 14. Am I right in saying that? I think I am. Bish, bosh. Checks with the knight can only be resolved by taking the knight with a piece, which Ben doesn't have any available here, unfortunately, or Mr. Banks, I should say, or moving the king. And obviously moving the king takes up a whole go. And this rook is a sitting duck. A sitting rook. The Rookie Horror Picture Show. Rookum Suckum Cowboys. They made a movie out of that, I think. tough cookie with a long history. Okay. Let's go for this one. Oh no, my bishop. Nap. That was a really wienery way for me to say those things. But unfortunately, Ben, you've taken the bait there. Attack the bishop. Quasi defense of the bishop. It's not really. It was actually a revealed attack on the queen sitting over here. Slamorama. Slamorama. One of the greatest music concerts of all time. We're up a good bit of material. I'm just going to start trading down. And I'm afraid it's going from bad to worse for Mr. Phelan. Expletive, Robin Banks writes in the chat. And he's not wrong. It's a tough position to be in. Queen in here, protected by this knight who did so much damage early on. It might seem like I'm toying with them. I'm really not. These are just the moves that are probably the quickest way to end this game. Little castle long here. A knight, even on its own, very dangerous beast. We saw this fork was here. This square is also pretty handy. Were my knight not there, it happens to be, which is tough. Right. So we'll do this. It's a check, and it's an attack on the knight. It's very nasty stuff. There's no nice way to put this. But he soldiers on, and I respect it. It's alright. Right, we'll close out the show here. Not the live stream today, just this game. Generally, I'm not too good at the old checkmates, which pretty crucial for the game of chess. But I find the easiest one is a rook queen or a rook ending, as they're known, and you can just sort of roll them, roly poly oly sort of job, which you're all familiar with. Would be worried about stalemate sometimes if you just don't leave the king enough squares to move to, but with these pawns and this bishop, it doesn't always have to be a king move, so there's always gonna be somewhere for them to go. Sure, listen. If we can get another queen on the board, I think that might be the end of us. Now, a huge round of applause for. Well, I haven't finished this game yet, as I say. I do not want to count my chickens. Chicky bang bang. I couldn't remember what the real thing of that was. It was like chitty. I was like, couldn't figure it out. I think think we'll do this. And then we'll do this. Let's just make it not fun and get another queen. I was going to do like a knight or something, but that's showboating and I won't stand for it. Good game, Ben. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Rob and Ben for their admirable and honestly fearless attempts. And I hope good game, man. We'll potentially be open to another rematch. Rob has said he's open to another one. Ben, I don't know what your thoughts are on things, but do let me know if you're interested in another game. I'm going to play someone from the Great Unwashed Masses now in a 15-10 minute game. But thank you very much. I'll take the ratings boost. Listen, I need it. I'm on my way to 1400 and it doesn't happen through honesty and hard work. It happens through playing your mates the Irish way. Use your mates to get to the top. And now Bataguno, Bataguno. We are now playing Backguano, an American player, 1378 rated. It's a funny name, Batguano. It's just another name for bat poo, isn't it? So, somebody who calls their chess account that, are they a functioning member of society? I'll let you decide. I'll let you, the public, decide. But I'm going to take a little bit more time over the moves. No disrespect to either of my previous opponents, but I was conscious of your time. I wanted... look, we all know United are playing Burnley as we speak to go top of the table. And I know you both wanted to get back and see that. To be honest, might catch the second half myself. But we'll see how some of these games go. Batguano, 66. A very pawn-heavy opening from Mr. Guano. Juanito. One of these modern openings. These mod cons. To be honest, I kind of want to just keep going by the principles. Control the center. Get your king safe. Get your pieces out. I'm going to move this pawn now. There's an opportunity in the middle here just to get right in amongst it. And it'll also free up my bishop to come on down. Party down. I'll take with the queen. Could be a threat incoming from the knight. Or even this pawn. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, folks. Ooh. I think we might. Or not. And just blunder away the queen. Good water. Water in the winter in Ireland is quiche. Very quiche. Could push here. But no. Just going to get me pieces out. Stay safe. Stay sound. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Right. Ian, right. Still tempted to push, but I'm going to get my king safe. They might do the same, this particular move. And should the opportunity present itself to get this little piggy off the market, great. You know? What harm? But now, I think I still am interested in pushing here. But before I do that, I might do a little number known as E1. Right, so knight under attack. What I don't want to happen, it's protected by this pawn. I don't want that to happen. What I would much prefer to happen is either being taken with a different piece or else just not taken at all. So it's not a particularly crucial piece. I mean, it's defending the queen, but she can look after herself. Here I feel would be a mistake because pretty nasty attack here with the bishop and the queen. If this knight moves away, and it could move away to pretty much wherever it wanted, potentially here, a number of different squares, and we wouldn't have a go to respond to both the bishop threat here and wherever this knight ends up. So here, not so much. Am I right in saying what I do see is this dark square bishop pretty locked in at the moment? So maybe we are alright to just defend with the queen here. I wasn't too crazy about it on that square in the first place. So that's what's gonna happen. Aisling Phelan shouting out that knight fork. It's my favourite type of fork. Is a knight fork. It wasn't my least favourite. And it's the only type of fork I've ever had in a stack ranking system. So it's both top and bottom of a one item list. Sometimes that's just the way it shakes down. That's okay. We're happy with this trade. We've sort of kept the semblance of our back row here. CJ Stander, Josh van der Fleer, and Peter O'Mahony back here. The three Bukali. Another little knight fork, but not as venomous this time. Obviously attacking the queen here and the bishop here. And I think I'll do a pretty reasonable move and go here. I actually really like that bishop, so I'm annoyed that that's happened. I was just about to say I'd like to maybe just even take a whole move to drop that bishop back because and I think they've identified that as well. Absolute rock star on that square there. But that said, again, we've staved off their attacks. We're not down on material and we're in pretty decent shape. Now I think it's time for the belle of the ball to arrive, which is going to be our dark square bishop. Places we can put our dark square bishop. Here is okay. So is here. Here's not great. Here's fine, but not really. I do like this rook having a clean line of sight here, so I think actually here is where it's going to be. Shout out to Aisling Phelan in the comments. Aisling and Ethan got me this microphone, which is allowing me to push vibrations into your brain, and you can make sense of them. That is the mystery of sound, and it grows ever more complex with each passing day. Can't recommend the water anymore. Already did it for one, but it's just absolutely wonderful stuff. Sure, listen, we're sitting inside on a Tuesday playing some chess, talking about water. Doesn't get much better than this. Drink it in. I'm grateful for this moment. And before that all comes asunder, our queen is under attack. And I'd like to rectify that. What can we do? There's no checks we can throw or counter efforts. I do like this square. It's defended, it's central. This is the I'd say the Franz Beckenbauer sort of square. It looks very defensive, but in reality actually has a lot of go forward, a lot of get up and go. So I think that'll do me for now. Who's this little Colleen over here? She hasn't done much. But once she gets going... Oh, look out. Block up your valuables. Because she's on the rampage. Wonder if I just resigned now. Would that get in their head? If I just quit and let them win, would that be a bit of a master stroke? Knights retreated. Which is... I don't know why. So, why would it? Potentially to re-engineer it over here. Just up here. Also, a bit more scoping for that to come on out. As it has done that, it has freed up this square for my knight. Which I very much enjoy. So I think... I mean, it can't just get kicked out there. So maybe let's just build the pressure. Let's just really hammer home on this D-pawn. D-pawn. This bishop is fine, that's an attack, but there's nothing in behind here. So I'm actually quite alright to just... Where do we want to dip back to? I think over here is the most open. A little bit safer in front of the king. The Ray. Gonna state it again in case people missed the start of the stream. My little nephew Coquito's first birthday today. Chatting to him earlier on the phone. He is in great form. Standing up all on his own. Got a shit ton of toys. Two of which are old friends, Woody and Buzz, which are just two dolls of Woody and Buzz the size of him. Prefers Buzz, much like Andy did in the movie. Much like a lot of us do. So I can't fault him for his taste. But he's won today. And I wish him a gorgeous birthday. It's been great having him in my life. But now on to destroying Bakuano and all he stands for. Equally as important. Knight. Bishop's dropped back here. And threat on the knight, which is fine, protected here. What I don't like is the potential of b4, which means that this knight should move, and unfortunately that would open up this pawn to get swept away. So what I'm gonna do is what I was talking about for quite a while, which is just e5 here. Now this may open up if they take there, but we're amply defended. There's also no light square bishop on the board anymore, so the light squares are now a haven for our pieces. In certain respects, obviously not this one or this. However, you get the picture. Light squares are slightly safer than the dark squares at the moment. Okay, so I think I'm very much okay if queen comes here, rook comes out here, and even as part of my defensive maneuver in taking back after the queen takes, I'm doing what's called a rook lift, which is basically just getting your rook in from out under your back four. So if that happens, that's fine, which means I am probably alright to take. I kind of want to do this though. Reason being, if I do this, this pawn can't advance anymore, this bishop becomes a little bit stymied, and there's no pawn or light square bishop to eke out my knight. Queen can come in here, that's for sure, but I'm actually alright with that, to be honest. The knight back here, much maligned as it was, is doing Trojan work. It's protecting this bishop, and yeah, that's fine. Right, take the rook or the pawn. Sort of want to take with the rook for that rook lift that I just mentioned. Now Mr. Guano thinks he can walk all over us. You're a real tough cookie with a long history, breaking little hearts like the one in me. That is Hit Me With Your Best Shot. I think by Pat Benatar. She Does Love As a Battlefield, so that makes me think that it might not be Pat Benatar, because that'd be two songs about love being directly warlike conflict. So rook comes across, good move, builds a bit of pressure here. I sort of want to do this just now because this pawn is living a charmed life. Might fall soon, and if it does, what we said was going to happen of this bishop being able to peer over there might come to pass, which I definitely don't want. So I think that... Oh, mouse slip! Oh, mouse slip. Yeah, that is just a fully slip of the mouse. It's what happens when you're a clammy gentleman like myself. Not much way around being as clammy as I am. As clammy as I am is fun to say. However, that was not what I meant to do, because it's just a free pawn. Dobby is a free pawn. Now, will Lucius Malfoy take him back? Back Guano 66. Yeah, just a boneheaded play. Ah, look, it's going to happen. There's worse fates in life than a mouse slip. Play it over and over in my head like this. Healthy. Very, very healthy. It is Pat Benatar. Okay, we got somebody. Ayo, how are you doing? I'm new to chess, so I want to watch how people play. Well, you're very welcome to the stream. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you very much for coming by. If you want to learn how good people play chess, there's probably better channels for you. However, if you want to learn how cool people play chess, there's no better channel. We haven't been punished here, folks. We have not been punished as yet. So, another thing that I would like to impart upon, something that's been told to me that I don't necessarily follow myself, is throwing the previous moves away. Like, just because I did this mouse slip and they have recovered, or they didn't take back, doesn't mean that, like, it might be that taking here is the best, or resolving that is the best, but take each new position as essentially a new game, based on your opponent's moves. I think I am alright to take here. Slash no, because that's going to open up a file for this rook to wreak havoc. And it's actually presented us with an opportunity to do just pushing here, which is just going to gum up the gears a little bit here. I can start to bring the rest of the soldiers out here. I also see a weeny bit of a tactic where I can actually win this pawn for free. So while I do that, and that's actually going to involve me taking out that dark square bishop, which means that these pawns on dark square won't be as vulnerable. Still incredibly vulnerable because I'm not good at this, but still pretty vulnerable, but not as vulnerable were that dark square bishop on the board. My plan here is involves the discovered attack of this rook taking here the bishop, which is actually check, so there's only really oh, that's even better. Get down, boots, let's get down to it. This actually wasn't a good plan. I'm glad you were all here and I could talk to you to understand why this wasn't a good plan. I was thinking something like rook takes bishop. I don't know why, I just thought he would take with the knight, which meant that I had two attackers left here, which were the bishop and the rook here, but actually they're just going to take with that pawn there. Still not a bad place for me to be in. King a little bit more exposed, our rooks are more out in the open, but not as enticing as it once was. Still do like the idea of this bishop getting out of the game. Also, not a lot of great squares for this knight to go to. So let's do it. Check. You're in check. That's fine. He grasped the idea. Yeah. So now what we wanted to do was chase the knight away. Sounds like a few college nights out I've been on, chasing the knight away. Boy, we sure did chase the knight away those nights. Keep your pieces safe first and foremost. Cooking with a long history of breaking little hearts like the one in me. You don't run, but you don't fight fair. Alright, where can this knight go, and is it annoying? Here, not that annoying. Here, dead. Can't go there. Was just there. Here, not that annoying. Here, dead. This is the most annoying one. For this feller. I also see I could launch a wee attacking in... oh no, shouldn't do that. Actually, yeah, it's fine. No, it's not fine. Going to do this, but then takes that. Actually is fine, but what I want to do is actually this. This king's over here, he's wide open. I want to get him a little nervy, little nervous Nelly. So one thing I do want to be wary of now that this rook is here. Knight here is check. Can take with this rook. Now what are you going to do? Rook gonna mow on in. Moultering through. There is no greater love than the love of a rook on a past edge pawn. The gibberish has skyrocketed in the last 20 minutes or so. Oh, no. That's not how you play chess in the slightest. It's another knight fork. Let's cry about it, or we can fix it. Start up them tears. You might notice I didn't actually get my rook to safety, just moved it right back into the firing path of this fork-tongued devil. Bosh and bosh. But these guys are now talking, so at least it's not for free. It's going to be what's called down on exchange. F in the chat. Respect that. F for fork. You're not wrong, sir. You are not wrong. F means fork. And things have been rightly forked up. Just thinking now, should I take with the rook or should I take with the pawn? I think, let's say with a rook. When you're a real tough cookie with a long history, breaking a little heart like the one in me. I get one song stuck in my head every single week, and I don't nail it any week. That's not true. I nail it every week. It's a great song every single time, without fail. Trouble a brewing, trouble at mill. I hide my king in there. Yeah, that's just a good use of the extra material you've got, Mr. Guano. Luis Guzmano. Listen, if you want to trade, you better come and take it, lad. I'm not going to give it you. Raging about that fork. Do you have any title? Magnus Carlsen's in the chat. My title is Mr. I think I'm a 1300 rated player. I don't know if they give out titles to 1300 rated players. If they did, probably wouldn't get one. It's probably like a couple of forms you'd need to fill in and stuff, and that I made dog. But thank you for asking, Magnus Carlsen. Great to see him here. Off the back of being the greatest chess player to have ever lived. Flash, it's up for debate, Maggie. You're not home and hosed yet. I've still got a few years to catch you before we both retire from chess. Should also say, Magnus Carlsen in the chat, it's my nephew's birthday today, so didn't hear from you all morning, man. Not a dicky bird. Your pawn on A is already dead. You actually shouldn't be telling me stuff during the game, but listen, we're all already dead in a sense. In that respect, let's just do this then, because I want to get my king involved. My king is my last piece. Now what we need is to get this pawn as passed. That's okay. Our bishop is in control of that situation. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It wouldn't have made a difference. Like I'm not. No, don't worry about it, man. But thank you for having my back. You see, that was easy enough. That was a good decision. Should have got my bishop into a little bit safer of a square. Come on, son. Make it there by some miracle. You're a real tough cookie with a long... that's fine. We're going in the right direction. I don't know actually what the etiquette is around that. Around advice in the chat during games. Like, I think it's fine. I think most people that stream chess, they are supposed to be or tend to be higher rated players than their listeners, which not the case here. So I just want to be squeaky clean about all this. I don't know. I mean, this game is over. I probably could do with resigning. Just do one more before we wrap up. This looks promising because they're going to let me promote, but you'll see here the king, through a lifetime of luxury and being spoiled rotten, is a fat man. Not to disparage him, but he doesn't have a lot of gas. He goes one square at a time. Rob Maloney is ferociously asking for a rematch. Let's be honest, Rob. Let's be having you. Now I'll wrap up this back, Guano. You're a fiendish fella. Or lady. Guano is, I think it's pretty fluid. I'm going to resign here. Good game back, Guano. Ragemeister Central. However, on to the next one. Bob Maloney. Dear pal Bob. Let's give you a shout. Friends. Chess friends. Right. Mr. Robert. He's gotten the cobwebs out. Thank you very much. I did try my best. We try our best every game here. And we have fun. Thank you very much. How do you pronounce your name, actually, by the way? I don't really know how to read the Cyrillic alphabet. You don't have to tell me if you're not comfortable. Let's be having you. Right, I have the white pieces against Rob now. So an extra little get up and go. Ben Phelan also into some rematch-itis. Alekine's defense coming at ya. Oh, Alexander. That's cool. I didn't know that's how that was written in Cyrillic alphabet. I can't remember how to say that. Okay. Rob going for less spectacular stuff. Just trying to play some solid chess. Petrov's defense. Again, don't mean to fool people into thinking I know the names here. They pop up here on the right hand side. Bishop coming in hot. Seemingly taking away the defender of this pawn. Gonna do something that's pretty counterintuitive. which is actually push my D pawn up 1. Going to defend this bloke. It will temporarily cause a pin of the knight to the king here. However, that's going to resolve pretty quick, and there's just not enough other stuff around to make that an issue yet. Not something to disregard. Should be treated with the highest of caution when you do have vicious pins like this, but it's early doors. No worries, Alex. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the channel. Smash that like and subscribe button if you like and subscribe it. Well, you're a real again. If anyone has any other songs they'd like me to sing, I'm not taking requests. Just looking at photos of me little nephew and all his many, many presents. And he's got cake all over his ruddy face. And doesn't he just love it? It's first time eating sugar. Alright, Rob. I don't like that move for you, but you might be cooking up a storm here. I want to make him make a decision with this bishop. So I'm gonna. If we can eventually make it retreat, I don't mind that. Probably best off just taking here. Unbelievable in the chat, folks. Magnus Carlsen. Crazy stuff. Who'd have thunk it? Thought he was busy. Pretty sure he's playing right now in a titled tournament. But he took the time to check out Chess Please. He knows it's not all about the glitz and glam. He knows it's about the 1300s taking on their mates and then taking on random opponents, losing to them and going back to playing their mates. That's how he likes his bread buttered. Buttered it shall be, Maggie. Another decision with the bishops. This time on the king's side. Now this time, we'll see what he does. A renewed vigor to his play this time, Rob. I think he knows. I think he's not happy with his performance last time, and he's here to rectify that. And you have to respect getting back on the horse, particularly when they're offering threats. Bishop pins all over the map. Gonna check the United score. Conscious people still sometimes wait for highlights, so I'm gonna not react to whatever I see. And now that's over. Haven't reacted. You're none the wiser of the score. They could be up 7, they could be down 4. Could be drawing. You'll never know. Ever. It'd be a very difficult world to live in if you could only view things live, if we just didn't have the ability to record or write down anything. Just whatever happened in front of your peepers, that's reality. That isn't the world we live in, though. And you can find out the result of the United game. It's only half time, by the way. Still plenty of time for whatever it is to change. And I may or may not want that. Anyway, back to chess, what you're all here for. I don't know if either of us are better or worse at the moment. what I'm going to do is this, though. What's known as a pawn break. Just an offer of a trade. Everything's safe, everything's sound, but just giving him a chance to open up the position if they want it. I want it, so if they take, we're alright, but if they don't, the tension grows. I want to get my king safe now. It's a little bit open. Plenty of pawn moves been played. And the tension grows even further. I like this by Rob. Hasn't taken any trade or anything like that he didn't want to. But has also heaved more pressure on this pawn. Essentially leaving it to me to either push or resolve the tension by taking either. I don't necessarily want to push. That's going to clog up some of these light squares, and I have a light square bishop and he doesn't, so it's not my bag, mate. So I'm just going to do this. Reason being is when I made this pawn break here, the main reason was to get this bishop out and active, and this capture still achieves that for us. So we're all gravy. See now after this game, I'm not sure if Ben Phelan is still around for a rematch. If he is, squeeze him in. If not, we might wrap up with a couple of bullet games. I think that clap noise happened at the exact moment I said bullet games. Very, very short games. Good for getting the cobwebs out. If you're I don't know, sometimes it's scary when you press play new game of chess and you start matching with a real person straight away. It's a lot of pressure. So sometimes a couple of bullet games, very low stakes, very an analogy I came up with there all by myself, I might add, / it's probably already been made before. Bullet chess and blitz chess, which is anything under 5 minutes, really, 5-minute games. Bullet chess, blitz chess. Mainly bullet. Blitz can have some value, but blitz chess, I would say, is like 5-a-side football, 5-a-side soccer, where you definitely need to be good at football to be good at 5-a-side, but you're not necessarily deadly at 11-a-side football if you're good at 5-a-side. You might have skills that are a little bit more intuitive, a little bit sharper, and that's the same with bullet and blitz. If you're just very quick off the mark and you just make snap decisions, like the ones you need to do in 5-a-side, you'll probably be a very handy blitz player, but that doesn't mean you'll be good either over the board or in long form chess, which I would say is like 11-a-side, where there's a lot more strategy, there's a lot more ups and downs, and probably a little bit slower on the eye as well. Hello, the Lupa. I'm with the gang. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for stopping by. We're taking on Rob Maloney. And taking on is right. Now, I think this is loose. I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth here. I do need to start developing, but free pawn's a free pawn. Free real estate. So let's chow down. Pressure here. Pressure here. Defender. Again, nobody really wants to use this G pawn as a defender unless you absolutely have to. and equal trades with that file opening. It's not too bad because I don't have an open file or a rook, and if I use my queen to open up that, it's that's a good move. Knight in the game. Threatens the bishop. Just going to drop my bishop back again. This bishop threatening the knight, threatening that g7 square. Bit of a rock star down here. Plenty of time before anybody can get to him in terms of an attack. The knight can come here, which is alright, but again, I need to solid up that for the time being. Podzalupa. I don't know if the stream you can see that, but thanks for stopping by. I think that's Alex again. I think it's a different Alex, maybe potentially this time. However, I'm going to develop, shore up this heavily pressurized pawn, which is actually holding back the flood on the king here. Need to get that little beauty safe as soon as we can. This is a comb I got in my stocking. That's a lie. I bought it for myself, I think. But haven't been able to get the old hair chopped with lockdown. So combing it and scraping it back onto the old skull has been the next best thing. I don't know how that looks anymore. Can't see myself. Knight move here. I'll probably just take the trade because knight's attacking queen, knight's attacking bishop, and also queen is attacking this bishop. There's just a lot of messing going on, and better players than I might think of a better way to resolve that than taking this knight here with my bishop. Rook comes out. I'm not delighted about that, but as Daniel Narditsky says, you gotta break a couple of eggs to make an omelette. Not every move in chess is gonna be fun and without consequence. Some of them, you gotta do the least bad thing. Sort of feeling Castling Long. Cashlon Lunga. Going this way. Mainly, actually exclusively for the well, maybe I just want to double check. Maybe Rob's in the old chat and he's keeping an eye on what we're doing. I don't think that's the case. He's not that kind of bloke. But yeah, castle here. There's an interesting enough idea with the castle that side, and I want to explore such an idea. We're pawn up. It says we're +4 here, but Rob has his bishop take back, which he does. And now we will take this opportunity to castle long. And now you see what I was sort of thinking. Got a clear line of sight to this queen. We might see that come into play later on. But there's a couple of things I need to do first. Oh, we are in trouble. Argus Filch. R.I.P. Did he die? I think he did. Did the actor who played Filch in the Harry Potter movies pass on? Actor is called David Bradley. According to Wikipedia, he's alive and well. I'm sorry, David. Argus Filch from Harry Potter, you're very much alive. You're 78. You're acting up a storm. You were also in Game of Thrones. gonna lay a little bit of a trap here for Rob and see what happens. Very precarious position, the young man. Couple of little stings in this tail. As it happens, Ben Phelan, if you're still out there, we might have to postpone the rematch for next week. Just running a small bit long. But thank you very much, and I'm sure we'll get into it here. Something very nasty could happen here for Rob if he doesn't see it. It sounded more menacing than it needed to be. Something very nasty will happen for him here now. He won't like it at all. I actually think he's alright. He has one move that will be... Let's see. So the idea is, I'm not sure if he's watching or not. If he is, show me what you got. The idea, as I mentioned before, this rook still got eyes locked on the queen here. And if I can move this bishop, that's going to be a discovered attack. That's the one move. That's a great move, Robert. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Yep, good stuff. Good stuff all around. I can't be fault that. We'll do this. Keep the protection here. Threat still remains. Dun 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 dun. Yep, and he has absolved himself of it very nicely, in fact. Pressure mounts on this pawn. Up and down, left and right. Things go bump in the night. Who's to blame? No one knows. Grab your coat. We're going to a show. Right, a lot of reduction in material there. Don't know if that's what he wanted. I want to live in America. I want to live in America. Partial Netflix recommendation. I won't stand over too much. Movie Tag. You've probably seen it coming out on the largest video platform that is out there. Tag is it's just a bunch of lads, a bunch of comic actors playing tag with their pal. John Hamm, Jake Johnson, who's Nick from New Girl, he's in it. Rashida Jones is in it. Jeremy Renner, who's one of the Marvel superheroes that doesn't have any superpowers. It's decent. It's worth your time if you've got a low bar, which this man does. That's not a bad move, Rob. Not a bad move at all. Spotted the back rank mate. Come what may, wherever this knight went, which is probably going to be here, I was gonna try and mate him on the back rank. I think I like this. Sort of conscious. I'm just once bitten, twice shy with these knight forks, or in my case, once bitten, 700 million times shy. They're my just have a block about them. So I'm trying to overcorrect here. So this might be very cautious, very cagey. That was a good move, good king move. Stabbing anyone who comes through this door. Yeah, rats. We have enough in the attack in the attacking tank to cause a bit of consternation. I'd quite like to do that right now. This knight doesn't have many great squares to go to. We'll have one. I don't know if I needed to force him away. I don't think he was doing much damage. You might see this square looks pretty menacing for an attack here on the knight. Blammy. Ham sandwich. Bonanza. That's all. That's the only way you can describe it, really. A hammy sammy banani. Oh, it's a good move. Did not see that was available. And a free pawn for Robert. Good gravy, Andrew. You're trying to lose this ruddy game. Alright, let's start the attack. I want to get this bishop moving. I want to get these knights chatting again. Well, now there's trouble. I've got just over 2 minutes left. I think we will make this the last game of the stream. Last stream of the night. I want to get some water and get ready for work tomorrow. think we have enough here to just crash on through. I don't know if he spotted it. Maybe we don't. Maybe I'm dead wrong. But I think this is going to be over in the next move. Another sweaty one, Rob. Ferocious competition. Fought back with aplomb. But just a little short in the end. Very good game. Thank you to all our competitors tonight, except Backguano. Nah, that's not fair. They played a good game. Solid game. And I love playing them. Quick run through on this one. Standard enough opening. 4 pieces out. 1 pawn each out. Very nice little opening. This all happened. Nothing too crazy just yet. That was fine. The take here. The reason I thought it was best to take here rather than retreat, although somebody might be better than me, because if this happened, I don't think it lets you analyze the games too well here, but essentially if this bishop drops back here, I would push this pawn, bishop comes back here, and pretty quickly we can start to, you know, just keep annoying that bishop, and we can get these pawns right up the board while Rob isn't doing any development. He would just be dodging that bishop out of there. So that's kind of why I said taking the knight here was best. That's what Rob did. This one here, we did the same. So there was a bishop attacking a knight that was pinned to a much more dangerous piece. And on the king side, I said I made Rob make a decision. The decision was to take. This one I would actually recommend dropping back. You can still do the same chasing game here, but this is my king side, kind of where most of the time I'll castle. Actually, in this game we ended up castling on the other side, but yeah, I don't necessarily want to be pushing a whole heap of pawns up the board if I want my king to live there later on, if that's going to be his summer home. Took there anyway. Also just lets me get my queen into the game as a result of the trade. That's the only outcome of the trade. We're level on material, but now I have an extra piece in the game. And like in and amongst the game. This was the pawn break. That was a decent move, but actually ran into a bit of trouble. Maybe just pushing this pawn might have been best. Ends up taking, leaves this one. Knight here. That dropped. And then the start of the plan started forming when I started to see that if I castled long, the rook would be looking at the queen. We didn't actually end up doing that. I think we had one opportunity too. So now we got the rook looking at the queen, bishop in between as a effective decoy. This move was where I was attacking the rook, sort of thinking that rook can't really take here because of it's just going to get taken back by the bishop, which they don't want. If knight takes, bishop takes knight, and rook doesn't have time to take back because queen is under attack with this discovered attack. With pushing this pawn, so just here, pushing it threatens the knight, yes, but actually again I just sort of wanted to open up this file or this diagonal for the bishop to hit here, which is actually check on the king as well as a discovered attack on the queen, which you win the game. Rob found a very good move here, which attacks my queen. We could have just done it here. We could have just taken that, but then we would win a pawn, a knight, and the queen for a bishop, a rook, a queen, which is not a good trade. And then from here we reduce down. Where did this all go wrong? So we both have both of our rooks and a minor piece. Rook takes there, queen takes there, rook takes. So we just had enough defending this pawn when we brought this rook across, and we wind up with a rook less, which was just the difference in the end, and we just had enough to crash through on the king. Here. Good game, Robert. Good game all. Thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. Thank you everyone who stopped by or who is watching this later on. If you had a good time, if you had an okay time, swing by again. Podcasts. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube, on Instagram. Hit the like and subscribe. And take